Hi, welcome back to EducateTube.com. My name is Sipsky, your host. Today I'm going to do the second part of reviewing this treadmill. This is the eChan Fit Treadmill CMT 500 model. Last time I showed you how to assemble it and I unboxed this treadmill. This time around I'm going to be testing it. I'm going to try some of the mode based on the electronic panel there, and then I'm going to give you my overall impression. In the third part of the video, which will be the next week, I will show you the setup where we want to add accessories like sounds and moving images to give the better experience when you're using your treadmill. But for now, let's focus on this treadmill, how to use it properly, and what is my overall impression. So let's get started. Alright, as you can see, this treadmill is a pretty decent size. It's way less than 120 pounds, and so it was easy for me to bring it down the basement. And the thing I like about it, it was only 5 steps that I had to do, and you can check my previous video how I did it and put it together. It took me less than 40 minutes to assemble it. It has a heart rate, so you can actually check your heart rate while you're running. It has electronic panel where you can check your calories, your distance that you traveled, and your heart rate. So that's pretty good. And also you can set up the speed from 0.5 miles per hour all the way to 8.5 miles per hour. Its standard setup is around 0.5 miles per hour, but you can increase that. And then what I like about it is that there's a button on the handles, so you can adjust the speed, and you can pause and start the system. Okay, so let me show you right now how to do it, and I'm going to have a closer up shot of this electronic panel. Okay, so to start out, there's a switch at the back here. So let's turn that on. Okay, it's on the back, and then now the panel light is on. So looking at the LCD monitor, I can see pretty clearly. Unless you're going like this, and obviously the digital panel you won't be able to see. But on this, general angle here, usually this is where you stand, the digital output that you can see is pretty clear. Now what I like about the handle, as you can see here, let me bring you closer. Okay, so as you can see, there's these 2 handles here on both sides. There is this heart rate monitor here. You can put both of your hand on both sides, and it will be able to check your heart rate. So right now you can see it's on a pause, so it's not running right now. To turn it on, you can press start here, or you can press start here. Okay, there's also a stop or pause button below that. And on this side here, there's a increased speed, plus and minus, so on the handle itself. So that's great. And then you have these, again, these metal plate here that measure your heart rate. Okay, what I like about it, of course, is that you don't have to run it to measure your heart rate. You can just hold your hand onto it, and it's measuring my heart rate right now. I'm at 77 beats per minute there, or 79 now. Okay, it's climbing up to 80, 82. Maybe I'm getting nervous, right? But so you can see here, there's also this safety feature where if you pull this out, right, it will turn off. And you put it back on, it'll be on again. Okay, so it's a magnetic off and on switch. You clip this onto your body, let's say your shirt or something like that, and let's say if you're slipping off the treadmill, if you get pulled and the thing is turned off. Okay, so that's a pretty good feature, but I don't really like it because it stops the treadmill, and I think that actually causes more accident than anything else. I prefer not to use it. I'll just leave it on for now like that. Okay. Usually I set my speed at low speed, between 1 to 3 miles per hour anyway, like walking and jogging kind of situation. Usually they say that if you go above 4 miles per hour, you're actually jogging, and if you go above I think 5 or 6 miles per hour, you're actually running. Yeah, again, it depends on how fit you are. I usually set it to 1 to 3 miles per hour for just regular strolling, walking, maybe even jogging when I set it up to 4 miles per hour. Okay, so there we go. There's if you can see here, there's different programs. The programs on top, there's 15 of them, different types, and you can set it up for yourself, 1 to 15, the way you want. You want it 30 minutes, you can say program 1 30 minutes. Program 2, you can set it up to an hour or so. Now you can also, instead of program based on time, you can base on number of calories you want to burn. Okay, you can do that as well. Or you want to base on the distance you want to travel. So there's that three aspect of it. Okay, so you can go based on time, distance, or calorie that you want to spend on in this treadmill. Another feature that you can do is after program 16, they call it FAT, that one allows you to determine your BMI. Now it's all basically a digital calculator, so I wouldn't depend on it too much on that. You can set it to, for example, if I set it to program, let me just bring it to, see, there we go, FAT, and then 1 represent male, okay, and then if you move on to the, say you move on to the next part here, you can say male, female is 1, male is 0, and then you can keep on. Number 2, I can't remember whether that's the weight or that is the height. Okay, so anyway, the point is that you can put in the parameters and then you can determine whether you're overweight or underweight or whatever it is. I don't really use it because I rather depend on my smartphone and get the recent data. Okay, and I'm not sure what standard they're using for this to measure the BMI, whether it's Asian or Caucasian and all that stuff. Okay, but the good news is that the size is very comfortable for my height. I'm 5'4", and I think it's good for anyone under 6 foot. Also, anyone under 200 pounds. I think this has a limit. I think they say ideally shouldn't be more than 220 pounds. I believe I have to look at the spec for that. But so if you're over 200 pounds, I don't think this is the device for you. And if you're over 6 foot, definitely not. You can see that it's very you know, if you look at it, it's okay for me. I think it's pretty good size, the width, but anyone who's very wide and tall, this might be too narrow of the pathway for the treadmill. So just be aware of that. So I think under 6 foot and under 200 pounds, I think this is a pretty good treadmill. Now you can see there's 2 cup holders here as well as on the side. Let me show you over here. Okay, there it is. There's the aluminum cup holder there. So there's actually 3 cup holder. All right, so let me get started. So I can press it here to get it started. Here we go. Okay, you'll count from 1 to 3 seconds, and then there we go. Okay, so it's setting to 0.5 miles per hour, and on this side here, on the other handle on the right side, there's a plus. I can increase that to say 1 miles per hour. So there we go. I'm walking. Let me illustrate that by moving the camera farther away. All right, so you can see it's at 1 miles per hour. Now let me set it to 1.5. Usually 1.5 is great for me and I don't need to use the handle, but it's nice to have this curvature handle so that you can grab like this. I prefer like that. It should be like a little bit of curve so you can kind of use your fingers to hold on to it while you walk. This feels pretty comfortable, but you can of course let go as well, as long as you're comfortable at the speed. So I'm walking like this. All right, let's go up to 2 miles per hour. It's pretty fast. This is usually a little bit fast for my walk. Okay, if I increase that to, let's say 3, that's pretty fast walking. It feels like a jogging to me now. Okay, so 3 miles per hour is pretty fast. In fact, for me, it feels like a jogging. Now, if I increase it all the way to 5 miles per hour, and that is like, to me, it's almost like running. Okay, as you can see. And then I'm going to pause it. So the one thing I like about it, when you pause it, it slows down. It doesn't stop completely, which is really dangerous, right? This time, when you press stop, which first button will be pause, and then it allows it to slow down and stop. So you press one more button, this thing will stop. Restart back to, you know, the 0.5 miles per hour speed. Okay, so let's start again. Again, it will set 3 seconds, and it will start with 0.5 miles per hour, and it's just a regular stroll here. Wow, I'm really unfit. You can see I can't seem to be keeping up when it's 5 miles per hour. But 0.5 is too slow. I'm going to set it to 1.0. which is, yeah, this is about right for me. So you need to know your walking speed. For me, 1 miles per hour seems to be quite good. I'm not going to be using the program because really, you want to keep this as simple as possible. You want to set the speed, that's it. And then you want to look at the time and of course check your distance and calorie. Notice that the distance and calorie flip back and forth. Okay, so it'll go distance and it'll say I'm walking about 10 meters so far. Calorie burn is 1.4 calorie. So yeah, so it flips back and forth. And then if I put my two hand here, my palm onto the metal plate to measure my heart rate, it's showing right now. I don't know how accurate it is, but it seems like I'm actually, my pulse is higher than 83. But right now, yeah, so it shows it's going up. So I think you have to hold onto the metal plates, both hands, for at least, I would say 30 seconds. See, now it's going up. Yeah, so now it's measuring it properly. So I would say if you want to measure your pulse, you want to hold on at least 30 seconds. And then I can see that it's going up because I know that my heart rate when I'm like having a hard time breathing, it's at least 100 beats per minute, right? So there we go. It's going 100 beats per minute. It's now 101, which is most likely correct. Again, I need to actually measure myself and see, but I think if you give it more time for it to measure heart rate, I think this is pretty accurate. So 105 now, 106. So it sits around 105, 106 beats per second, per minute, sorry. 107 now, beats per minute. So this is about right. So at 1 miles per hour, this seems to be measuring it quite well. I've been walking for now over 2 minutes. So there we go. I'm traveling over 0.04 miles. I believe that's not kilometers. I think it's 0.04 miles. And calorie burn is 4.8 calories. The big C calories, by the way. Okay. Okay, so let's slow it down and stop. There we go. So now let me give you my overall impression of this treadmill. And in the future, I'll talk about the setup that I did for this treadmill, okay? All right, so what do I think of eChan Fit treadmill, the model CMT 500? Well, for the price, half the price of a more professional treadmill, this is not bad. For my height and weight, I think this is perfect. My family tend to be a smaller size people, and our weight is tend to be pretty low, less than 200 pounds. So this is the best for us. In fact, it's great if you have to move this yourself downstairs to the basement, for example. I had no issue with that, and it was easy to assemble. It took me less than 40 minutes. There was only 5 steps. There were, of course, I mentioned in my first video that the diagram, the manual wasn't very good in terms of nuts and bolts. It wasn't aligned properly. So I had to kind of guess which one was the right nuts and bolts. So hopefully eChan Fit company will be able to fix that, making sure that the manual is more friendlier. That'd be awesome. And yeah, I had no issue with this treadmill at all. It was pretty simple. I didn't want any fancy LCD, those Bluetooth or whatever that fancy that linked with the YouTube. I have the computer set up, and I'll show you next week on how to add on accessories like a monitor with computer, hook up to a YouTube for fitness, and then speakers. So that's actually better than those more expensive, more professional treadmill where they tend to add a lot of gadgets in there and bring up the price. Where this is pretty straightforward treadmill. All you want is, of course, to monitor your speed. In other words, you set up your speed, and then you monitor your calorie that you burn, the distance you travel, and the time you have done walking or jogging or even running. Okay, so for me, I just use it, and my family anyway, are using it for walking. So during winter time, for example, when the weather is really bad or when it's raining, we would actually exercise in the basement. We would have this set up properly. Okay, so yeah, if I had to give this out of 10 for the price and the weight and for my size, I would give it 9 out of 10. Now, I didn't give it a 10 out of 10 is because I find that the instruction was a little bit hard to understand. And yeah, I think that's more like it. Oh, and another thing I forgot is because the leveler that allows you to angle the treadmill is made of plastic. I wish it was made of metal. It was probably going to last longer If it's a plastic, I don't know how long it will sustain the pressure, right? It might crack in the future. So that's why I might even give an 8 out of 10 because of that. But for now, I'll say 9 out of 10, pretty good, right? Excellent for the price, the money, and for one person to bring it down and assemble it, I think is pretty ideal. But again, just remember, it's not meant for anyone above 6 foot and anyone over 200 pounds, because the machine and the motor that's built for this are meant for smaller size people, usually under 6 foot and under 200 pounds, okay? Anyway, you need to look at the spec and then decide for yourself whether this is the machine for you. I would say for anyone who wants a budgeted treadmill and who's less than 6 foot and less than 200 pounds, it's great to have this. And it's compact. You can actually lift it up. Let me show you right now before I end this video. You just lift it up and there we go. It's done, right? So you just have to bring it in and it will lock in like that. There we go. And it stays like that. But I don't like it, hanging up like that. It doesn't give that much room anyway. I end up actually let it be its normal position. Okay, so it just sits on the ground like that. In my basement, I have a lot of space anyway, so it's not a problem. If you live in an apartment, of course, maybe that's helpful for you. But for me, I just leave it out like that. So my daughter and my son can just use it right away, and my wife as well. All right, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Next time, I will talk about the extra feature that you can add on top of this to make the experience of the treadmill much better. Okay, for example, adding music and also the screen, like YouTube videos, YouTubers who does exercise, and you can follow them, or you can watch a sceneries or something like that while you're walking. So you feel like you're simulating nature while walking inside your apartment or basement. All right, see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.